Hello, everybody. My name is Camille Campbell, and I'm very pleased to welcome you to today's session, Demystifying Extreme's Fabric Connect and its Path to the Cloud. This session is really targeted to the business buyer, and what we're planning to cover is we're going to cover what Fabric Connect is and what the values are, where we are in terms of some of the integration of this portfolio into our Extreme Cloud IQ platform, and where we're taking that in the future. And then what some of the key initiatives that we're working on over the next 6 to 12 months. At any time, if you have any questions whatsoever, please enter them into the chat bar, as we do have experts standing by to help. So welcome to 2020. It's definitely been an interesting year. And one of the common themes that we're seeing is all around digital transformation. And one of the things I've found very striking is a lot of digital transformation projects that would normally take months and months were conducted in weeks or even days because they had to be. However, underpinning all of these digital transformation efforts is the network. And as our technology gets more and more advanced, we really need to make sure that our networks don't get left behind. So fabric networking is really a way to modernize the network, to simplify it, and also to automate it. And automation is going to be a really strong theme in this presentation. I'm going to talk about what the automation features the technology supports today, but more importantly, where we're going in the future to enable self-forming, self-provisioning fabric networks. So for those of you who might not be familiar with the technology, I wanted to start with what it is and what the values are. The first thing to understand is it is a standards-based network virtualization technology. So what that means is we actually are abstracting the services from the underlying infrastructure so that there's a lot more agility in deploying and changing your services. The other thing to note is it is a technology that extends from the data center top of rack all the way through to the wired and wireless edge. It's used to modernize and simplify data center networks, do data center interconnect, and also it's used for large and small campus refresh opportunities. And it also extends out seamlessly across the WAN into your remote offices as well. The technology is supported on our VSP and ERS series of switches, and it extends out to the edge through our XOS switches and our Extreme wireless APs. The portfolio is managed today with our XMC series suite of applications, and we're doing more and more integration work into Extreme Cloud IQ, which we'll get into in a bit. The other thing to really note about this technology is we've been building these networks for 8 to 9 years. We have some very large deployments that exceed 750 virtualized nodes, and networks that literally span the globe. And one thing, because we've been in service for so long, we've been able to get some very tangible, quantifiable benefits from what customers are getting out of this technology. And it really relates to faster time to service, faster mean time to repair, and more scalable, higher performing multicast video. The technology is also secure. So those of you who attended our Extreme Connect event last year in Nashville might remember our hackathon. And we've taken our hackathon events to numerous private and public events, and to date, we are unbreachable. So in terms of some of the top business challenges that we can really solve with this technology, it relates to efficiency and time to service, security, efficient IoT onboarding and segmentation, and of course, performance for some of the more complex applications. So when it comes to efficiency, one of the things that makes networking teams less responsive to the business are waiting for maintenance windows and generally long planning cycles to implement network changes, having to provision hop by hop through the network. Fabric Connect really is about eliminating those delays. So what we do with this technology is to deploy or change a service. You're really just doing it at the source and destination edge ports only, and then the network establishes the shortest path between the source and destination. What's really cool about this is the fact that for your core and aggregation parts of your network, you basically build that out one time. And for the vast majority of your network moves, adds, and changes, those devices are hands off. So this has a huge impact not only on the stability of the network, it also has a huge impact on the agility, and it allows your teams to do those network moves, adds, and changes on the fly. And I wanted to give you a very tangible example. We have a customer based in London, City University within London. And just to do something simple, extend a VLAN between two of their data centers, they had to configure 36 uplinks on 17 different devices. And because of all that complexity, they halted network changes to only doing them during the summer months. When they deployed Fabric Connect, again, just being able to provision each edge port at the source and destination and let the network take care of the rest allowed them to do network moves, adds, and changes at any time. The other thing about Fabric Connect is it's a very simple technology. And if you look at some of the other fabrics that exist in the industry, what you'll see is you'll have quite a number of different control planes, and then you'll have a controller automate everything. Fabric Connect takes a different approach. It basically simplifies the network by enabling all of today's services, even things like multi-tenancy and multicast, using just a single protocol. So this dramatically simplifies the deployment and the configuration of the network, but more importantly, it also dramatically simplifies troubleshooting. The other thing that's unique is we're building automation into the technology itself. So rather than having a controller and you need to have a network operator program in what automation they want to get through the network, through scripting or through APIs, with our technology, the network takes care of the network. And basically, we're giving time back to your network operations team. Security is another big strength of this technology. And you just read the headlines today, and we know it's a very complex cybersecurity landscape. And one thing cybersecurity experts generally recommend is to segment the network. And this is because malicious actors love nothing more than a flat network. All they need to do is compromise a single host, an unsuspecting user, an unattended IoT device, and then suddenly the network is like a house of cards where they can laterally move, ultimately making way to your critical information and data. If your network's segmented, you're reducing the potential attack surface, and you're containing that breach to where it occurred and preventing any lateral movement through the network. With Fabric Connect, we offer a very, very simple to deploy, edge provisioning only, a very scalable segmentation approach, and most importantly, these segments can actually extend anywhere very, very easily, right from data center top of rack all the way through to your remote branch offices. In comparison to other approaches, VLAN-based approaches, using firewalls or overlay tunnels, we're eliminating the operational complexity and we're providing much more enhanced scale so that you are free to isolate your different tenants, protect and isolate your critical information and data for compliance purposes, and also segment and isolate your IoT devices. And speaking of IoT, it's not only important to isolate and segment your IoT devices, it's really important to be able to efficiently onboard those IoT devices. So say you work in healthcare and your biomed team comes up to you and says, I need 50 medical devices onboarded to the network by tomorrow. You can do it. It's not a problem. And what we provide within this technology is a feature we call Fabric Attach. So again, this is supported on our ERS switches, our XOS switches, and our Extreme APs. And what it allows is it allows for the zero-touch the auto attach of our users, our devices, and our virtual machines onto the network. And even more than that, as these devices connect to the network, the services can extend and the port can be dynamically provisioned. And then when they disconnect, that configuration is deleted from the edge port. So there's some elasticity that you can gain using this functionality. Again, because we live in a complex cybersecurity world, using policy is always a good idea. So using Extreme's network access control solutions, we can also authenticate your IoT devices and dynamically provision the correct service and the correct fabric service dynamically, and also apply a policy that ensures that device is going to operate according to its expected behavior. Quality of experience is another big benefit of our technology. And with Fabric Connect, we're very well suited to support some of this influx of real-time traffic. And I actually read a stat that post-COVID-19, video traffic experienced an 8 times growth over corporate networks. So we really need to make sure that our networks are resilient, that we do a lot of traffic optimization in order to ensure that the video quality is good. So in terms of resiliency, one of the things customers tell us time and time again is they'll have a failure, they'll lose a link, or in the case of the customer you see here on the slide, Syscom, they had a massive power failure and they actually lost an entire data center, and not a single one of their subscribers reported a fault. So it is a very highly resilient technology. When it comes to traffic optimizations, we have a national healthcare customer, and what they wanted to do was to consolidate all their data center resources into 4 service provider co-location sites. And due to a fantastic network design, using Fabric Connect and another feature in our portfolio called distributed virtual routing, they were really able to optimize their traffic, both north-south and east-west. And as a result of all the optimizations, they were able to reduce latency by 30 milliseconds for users accessing their applications. And that was fantastic, being a healthcare company and looking at, things like EMRs and imaging files. The other thing that they were able to do is simultaneously fail 75% of their infrastructure without a single outage to services. So we're great for video, but really where this technology shines is multicast video, or in fact, any applications that rely on multicast. Traditional multicast deployments rely on legacy technologies that are complex to deploy, slow to recover, and can sometimes have erratic performance, leading to the ability not to scale. What Fabric Connect does is it integrates multicast directly into the fabric. And in doing so, we can provide something that's easy to deploy, highly scalable, and allows for incredible performance of the underlying video infrastructure. And you can see the quote from Indiana Department of Transportation and the complexities they were facing troubleshooting their multicast network that supported their video surveillance deployment, and how that complexity basically went away after they deployed Fabric Connect. So you might be thinking, okay, this technology sounds great, but how would I get to there from where I'm at today? And for those of you that have XOS switches in your deployment, the good news is you're part of the way there because you have fabric attach capable switches. All you really need to do is add some VSP switches to form a fabric to be able to take advantage of that fabric attach functionality. And we can work with you on a migration plan that makes sense given your refresh cycles. We also interoperate seamlessly with any third-party switch or router through the mechanisms you see on the slide. And the good news is, from a migration perspective, if you have any S-series or older Black Diamonds, we have some features built into XMC to really help with easing that migration. So this shows the VSP portfolio. It's a bit of a busy slide, but basically what we've been doing is working on refreshing 70% of the portfolio. So some of the devices that you see that are circled Those actually represent how we've extended the portfolio from last year's Connect. The other piece that's very exciting is our universal hardware series. So you see those in the dotted circles. And essentially what we're doing is we're adding 7 new models to the VSP portfolio when those products are enabled with our VSP VOS operating system. It allows for a single operating system end to end, and it allows you to take advantage of full Fabric Connect capability right at the edge of the network. Of course, those 5520s can also be deployed with the XOS operating system. So similarly, we're extending the XOS portfolio. And here you get to take advantage of Fabric Attach and stacking when these products are enabled with XOS. And we've also done similar refreshes and extensions of the XOS portfolio, as shown by the devices that I've circled. Over and above refreshing the portfolio, we have a number of initiatives: cloud management, automation, unification and simplification, and scale. And I'll talk through each of these. Effortless is something you guys have heard a lot about, and where I feel the rubber really hits the road is the intersection of fabric networking and cloud. You get a very simple, automated, unique networking technology, and you combine that with the intelligence and all the insights that you can gather from cloud, and you get a very compelling solution. So in terms of some of the things that cloud can bring to Fabric Connect networks, zero-touch onboarding and bulk configuration to really help you guys get your networks up and running faster, and eliminating some of the complicated pre-staging. Single pane of glass, being able to get a view of your network, which is getting probably increasingly complicated and distributed. Being able to roll up all that information and insights into very user-friendly, comprehensive views. So you can see what's going on with network health, what's going on with some of your client health. Massive scale. So cloud allows you to add ports, add APs, add clients without having to worry about getting another management instance to manage that. And then probably the most powerful reason is all the AI ML driven insights that can be used both for IT purposes in terms of proactively troubleshooting the network, being able to fine tune things before they become service impacting, and also business use cases, looking at trends year over year, month over month. So this just really gives a snapshot of some of the things you see today. Right now in XIQ with a pilot's license, you can see a topology view, and you can get a single pane of glass view of your wireless, your XOS switches, and your VSPs. Drilling down into a particular device, you can come up with something we call the device 360 view. So here we're showing a 48 port 4900, and it allows you to get a very comprehensive view of what ports are enabled, what ports are disabled, how many alarms, how many clients are attached, where that device actually physically resides, and what it's transmitting and receiving. And of course, you can go in and do some device-based provisioning, some port-based provisioning. And if there's something that's not in the GUI, we have a feature called supplemental CLI, where you can provision using the CLI commands. Really where we're going and what we're excited about and what you'll see rolling out next year is all around Fabric 360 and getting you to Fabric visualization and monitoring. So what we're showing here is a Fabric Connect network. The purple devices represent Fabric Connect nodes, and the yellow devices represent Fabric Attach nodes. You can also drill down into the links and see what types of links they are, whether they're running encryption. And then what's really cool is for any given Fabric topology, you can actually drill down and see what services are provisioned. So in brown, you see our global routing table, and in blue, you see our layer 3 VSN. You'll be able to hover over these devices and links and VLANs and get more detailed views on the connectivity. We're also building in some really slick quick search functionality. So if you need to pull up a VSN or a virtualized service very quickly, you just type in the name, you type in the number, and it will pop up for you very quickly. Even though we're building a lot of functionality into Extreme Cloud IQ, XMC is still a very important component of our overall management strategy for our wired and wireless portfolio moving forward. So this year we've had 2 XMC releases, and we also have another very critical one coming up at the end of the year. And for those of you who are interested in learning more, we are doing a lot of demonstrations, both of XMC and XIQ on the demo channel. XIQ today, from a VSP perspective, we've integrated the 7400, parts of the 4900 series, and the Extreme Access platform. And we're continuing to add devices and new features at a very rapid rate. In some cases, you may see a hybrid management approach where maybe XMC is managing your main campus and XIQ is managing your remote sites. And then one thing that we're very excited about is the integration between XMC and XIQ. And XMC will be a very important data collector, merging its data into XIQ and allowing our customers that have multiple instances of XMC to use XIQ as a manager of managers. Automation is a big initiative, and really our goal here is to automate as much of this network lifecycle as we possibly can. And our goal is really getting to the self-forming, self-provisioning fabrics. So how we do that is, first of all, we want to have zero-touch onboarding. So again, any VOS switch, any VSP switch, including a 5520 with VOS, we can enable zero-touch onboarding through both XMC and XIQ. And what happens is if you connect the switch to an existing network, it will find the management system. It will set up a secure onboarding service, register with the management platform, and it will get its configuration, device-based, port-based, all of it. In conjunction, because we've plugged this into an existing fabric network, we're building in auto-sensing capabilities into the VOS operating system. So it gives the switch the intelligence to know it's connected to the fabric, and it will dynamically provision all the fabric infrastructure pieces it needs to join and be part of that fabric. In addition, if you want to plug in an AP, an ERS switch, or a XOS switch, it will detect, the switch will detect that it needs a fabric attached peering link, and it will dynamically provision that link between the AP or the switch and the VSP switch. And then the last piece of this is really about enabling a zero-touch client access experience and streamlining moves, adds, and changes and connections and disconnections to the network. So again, we're going to auto-detect when a client is connected to a port, and then we're going to use Extreme's network access control solutions to authenticate that device and then do all the provisioning to get that device onboarded to the network in a very seamless way. So all of these automation features will be rolling out this year and extend into next year. Simplification. So I talked about the VSP Edge and enabling 5520 with VOS. And the one thing I really want to stress here is we're really trying to automate 90% of the edge functions that would typically be provisioned today. We want to keep the edge very lightweight. We want to get rid of the need to provision VLANs, MLAG, ECMP, we really want to simplify IP routing and multicast. And so in addition to all the automation I talked about on the previous slide, we're also using that distributed virtual routing feature that I talked about earlier to both optimize layer 2 and 3 traffic flows in highly mobile campuses and to simplify some of the provisioning as well. The other thing to note about this platform is it's very flexible and it can run over any physical topology you have, whether it's rings, meshes, partial meshes. It's just designed to be physical topology agnostic. Fabric Attach is very important, and we plan to extend it across our portfolio on our universal APs, the ISW for hardened environments, and enable Fabric Attach Server on our Extreme Access platform to allow you to take advantage of dynamic auto attach in your branch sites. And then we're also simplifying and securing branch office deployments so you can leverage the public internet in a secure, simplified way for both primary or backup connections at the branch. And then finally, the last major enhancement, which you'll see roll out in the first half of next year, is around multi-area. When you push Fabric Connect all the way to the edge, we really need to scale our fabric networks. And multi-area is going to allow us to scale to tens of thousands of nodes, and also still seamlessly enable our services that can extend between these different areas, again, using edge provisioning only. So with that, I know I had to go fast, especially through a lot of our enhancements, but I really feel that we have a compelling offer for our customers with regards to the combination of Fabric Connect, which is providing a lot of automation, a lot of simplicity to the network environment, and then combining that with the intelligence that we can provide with the Cloud IQ platform, and then wrapping that up with leading services and support, which is totally in-house and very, very highly ranked. So I really hope you learn more about these solutions. And the best way to actually see Fabric Connect is to get hands-on with it. That's where the concepts really solidify. And with that, I just really wanted to thank you so much for your time, and I hope you have a wonderful show.